Hey guys, I'm going to be showing you how to build a simple quote generator using a database object as well as a 1D array object. It will look exactly like this, function the same. So let's get started. So here you see I have the basic stage set up. I've already set up the database, which I imported an Excel spreadsheet that contained a data set of over 500 quotes with the associated author. So as you can see in the database, we've got the first column, which contains the quote itself, the second column, the person who said it. So first thing I'm going to do, set up the basic layout of the program. It's going to be quite simple. I'm going to use a text field to display the quote. Set a little border definition so that you can see it's different than the background. And just center the text. I'm going to label this display. And I'm going to do the same thing, but for the author display. And then for the button, I'm also going to use a text field. I'm going to set the background color a little darker so it's distinguishable as a button. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Once again, we're going to display the quote here in this main text area, and then we're going to display the author of the quote here in this text area, smaller text area. So since we cannot directly link the data from the database into a text area object, we need to put something in between the two, which will be an array. And you could use either 2D or a 1D array depending on your data and how many different data variables you have. Since we only have two in this one, I'm going to be using a 1D array to keep it simple. And since we only have two columns, I'm going to adjust the default from 3 to 2 in the array, and then I'm going to edit the data binding so that column 1, which contains the actual quote, will map to the quote display text area here, and column 2 will map to the author display text area here. Then we want to add the event to our generate quote button. It's all going to be under one condition, which will be a click. These things will all happen essentially simultaneously. The first thing we want to do is get a quote from the quote database and output it to the 1D array. And since this is a random quote generator, target action will be retrieve randomly. And we don't need to adjust any of the output conditions or sorting. We just need to select the output to object and choose 1D array. So this will take a quote at random from the database and put it into the 1D array. Next, we need to display the quote. So we'll choose our text display, and the target action will be set value. Here we want to choose from the 1D array, like I mentioned, and we want to select an item, which essentially means select a location in the array. And since this is for our quote display of the actual quote, if we remember, that's stored in column 1 of the database and mapped to column 1 of the 1D array. So we choose row 1, column 1. And we want to do the same thing with the author as well. This author text field here. Target action will also be set the value. Object will be from the 1D array. Select an item, except this time it'll be column 2. Then we can preview it. And there you have it, a random quote generator. It's pretty powerful, and there are lots of other applications that can be used with randomly generating data from a database.